What is going on? So we are finally back. Man, it feels weird. I've been out of commission for about a week. I missed you guys, but I'm very happy to be back on the water. Trolling motor is in good shape, and it is about 3:34 in the afternoon right now. We're gonna do a little bit of sight fishing today, going micro light, 1,000 size reel, 10-pound braid, 12-pound fluorocarbon. You know, in a video where I did some sight fishing, I asked, your guys' opinion on what I should do, because I had a lot of follows and a lot of turnaways, and I just wasn't getting the bites I felt like I should be getting. And so you guys, a lot of you said I need to be throwing very light tackle, and I already thought, in my mind I was throwing 25-pound fluorocarbon. I thought that was light, but most people were saying, you need to go down to 12 or you need to go down to 10. So we're throwing 12 today, about 6 feet of 12-pound fluorocarbon to 10-pound braid mainline. I was going to bring out my 3000s or even my 4000. I was like, if I'm using 12-pound leader, I can't put that much drag on anyway, so I might as well just break out the micro light. The drag will be perfect for this kind of fishing right here, a very light drag. But when I'm sight fishing, I like to look for areas that are very calm and very clear. So we're going to look for areas that are out of the wind, kind of sheltered. As you can see behind me, I got a mangrove line, and so we're going to cruise really slowly along the mangrove line. And we're going to throw the cooler up front so we can get a little better view as well. Hopefully, we can see some snook, and hopefully we can get them to eat. I'm going to start off throwing this Mirrodine jerkbait probably, and I'll probably switch over to a fluke. That was the most suggested thing, I would guess, is that people said you need to throw just a little fluke, weightless, and let it sink and just bounce it off the bottom. But we're going to try this first, and if that's not working, we'll put the fluke on and hopefully catch some snook. Little barracuda sitting up here. I guess we'll throw at him just to kind of warm up. How about that? He swung it at the second it landed. It literally hit, and I twitched it once, and he was all over that. He was all about that. This should get his attention right here. He missed it again, dude. Come on, buddy. First spot, no go. Got a couple strikes from a cuda and a little jack follow up, but I didn't see any snook. So we're gonna make a move here. Hook this up. Keep on moving. All right, spot number 2 now. We're gonna drift along some docks right here that have nice shallow kind of sand flats in between them. And so the idea is, a lot of times these snook will stage up and just kind of sun and soak up some rays in the sand flats between docks. Then they'll move back and forth and kind of hide underneath the structure. But we're hoping to catch them out in the middle so we can sight cast on some of these guys. It's a little on the windy side, which is kind of annoying, but we'll make do. We'll just have to work a little harder to see these fish. Something just ate way up here in the shallows. Have some glass minnows. Oh man, it's a little cuda, I think. That drag is so loose. Yeah, it's a little cuda. Oh, there he goes right there. Well, I need to work on that drag a little bit there. I think it's about as tight as we're getting it right there. Oh, I see snook sitting right up in the shallows up here. Pretty far up. It's pretty close to the bank too. This is pretty much the presentation I've been looking for all day. He's moved a little bit, but not a significant amount. He's not aware, I don't think. I'm really trying not to get too close to him yet with my cast. He's right underneath my bait right now. Oh gosh, one I didn't even see came out and hit it. That's not even the one I was looking at. This is not the snook I was looking at. The one I'm looking at is much bigger than this one, but that's funny, man. Oh gosh. Just a little guy. Alright, well this was not the fish I was looking at. This is a little snook right there. But the one I was looking at had a few LBs on this guy right here, but we're going to release him real quick and see if we can get on that other one. Dude, he is fired up. Come here. Okay, he's gone. That snook, that little one, must have came up from underneath this dock because I did not see him at all. Ooh, there's snook way shallow up here. I might have to go around to the other side of this dock and get a cast at him. I don't see that first one anymore, but he went underneath this dock here in very, very shallow water. I'm talking only a couple inches probably. Oh, I see him. He's on the other side of the dock, so we're gonna jet over there. There he is, finally. Been looking for this fish for about 5 minutes now. Come on, eat, dude. He's tailing it. Come on. There he is. Oh, he just came off. Oh, it was a good one, too. Come on. Oh, these trebles might just be a little too small. I don't know. Gosh, dude. Crap. That was like a 28-inch snook. That would have been a really, really fun one on this pole right here. Oh, that's alright. That's cool though, you know, we worked for that fish for a while, where I first tracked him about 10 yards on the other side of the dock, and I ended up having to follow him over here to get a good cast on him. And then finally, you know, I kind of lost sight of him because a boat wake came by, and about 2 minutes after the boat wake kind of settled, I finally saw him about 30 yards from where I originally tracked him, and put the cast right in front of his nose, and he tracked it, followed it, and ate it, but pulled the hooks. Just hard, I think, because there isn't, like, this is the drag hammered on this reel, so I really don't have a lot of hook setting force, and I'm also using 12-pound test, so if I set the hook too hard, I run the risk of snapping my line. So hopefully we can get a good hook set into the next one, but that's pretty cool. Oh, there's a snook. Got a clam light. I'm gonna step down from the cooler here. He's coming right at me. Little guy. Little guy. I guess we are micro fishing today. Barely hooked. Alright, second little micro snook right there. We caught a few cudas, hooked a couple jack, and hooked a nice snook, but we finally connected with another snook, and it is a tiny one. Probably smaller than the first one. That's crazy, but I guess that's what I get for using a micro rod. But it's cool, you know, doing something pretty different. I've never really tried micro fishing in saltwater, so it's pretty different. Maybe we can hook up with something big. That'd be fun. You know, I definitely had my chance on that one snook that was a medium sized to pretty big snook, but we're gonna release him and hopefully catch a big one before the night's over. But even on the micro setup, they still pull pretty well. Off he goes. Oh, good fish. Good snook. Kind of goes so light on this fish, but he's pretty close to these pilings here. He's not that big. Oh gosh, what the heck is going on? Turn your head, dude. I need to use the trolling motor and go in so I can't get wrapped around this piling. Turn your head. Oh no. This snook isn't even big. You guys are gonna laugh when you see how hard this thing's fighting for how big of a fish this is. Okay. We are out. See if we can get this net and get him before he breaks me off. That's a good sized snook. I'll take it back. Okay. In the net. Oh. It's actually a better snook than I thought it was. Alright, I'll take it back. Alright, that's a decent snook on the micro setup right there. He's probably 26 inches would be my guess. I'll throw him on the tape in a moment before I release him, but very, very cool, man. I I had to fight every second to get this fish out of those docks right there. That was very, very fun, but very, very nerve-wracking. Even though it's not that big of a fish, it was still like, it took a lot of effort to get that fish out of that dock, and I'm thankful that I did. But we're gonna throw him on the tape real quick to see how big he is, and we're gonna keep rolling. All right, this handsome guy went 24 inches on the tape. We are gonna let him go and maybe throw for a little more. All right, well, there he goes. All right, it's finally time to call it a day, I believe. You know, about 30 minutes probably passed since I caught that last snook. You know, it felt good to get back on the water. It's been a couple of days, like 5 or 6 days since I fished, because I just had so many maintenance problems one after another. But, you know, it felt good to get out and do something a little different too, you know. I had trouble deciding what I wanted to fish for, or how I wanted to fish coming out today after being off the water for 5 days, and I thought, you know, microfishing, that'll be cool. You know, it's obviously not like the biggest giant producer, but we caught a decent fish doing it, and, you know, it's something interesting. I've never really done any microfishing before on my channel, so I figured why not. You know, I thought it a ton of fun, and I caught a lot of fish. Obviously, they weren't all big, but, you know, very, very effective for catching a lot of fish, just going light line, light leader, and a small twitch bait, and it really, I didn't take that lure off the whole entire day, and I got bites consistently. So, you know, it was a good day all in all. But I'm done. Gonna head in, get some dinner. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging with me while I figured out my technical difficulties. Until next time, see ya.